What is up, guys, and welcome back to episode 2 of Banjo-Tooie. So in the last video, guys, we ended off right here at this spot, this mystery egg-shaped house. What does this mean for the game? What is this exactly? What is this house's purpose? Well, we're gonna find out in just a second. There's a sign behind here that we can read. We can take down this new flight enemy, and by entering in this house, we meet Haggy the hen. And you guys can see that blue egg there. What does that blue egg mean? Well, let's find out. And look at what we've got here. A yellow mystery egg. Now, guys, a bit of history on what these eggs were actually for. So, guys, these eggs were actually part of a special event called Stop and Swap back in the day. It was basically you collect these eggs in Banjo-Kazooie. You collect these mystery eggs throughout Banjo-Kazooie after completing the game or by using cheat codes. You find these mystery eggs and you collect them in the game. And once you collected them, there was a thing you do called Stop and Swap. Basically what it was is you quickly swap out Banjo-Kazooie for Banjo-Tooie, and the data those eggs would then transfer over to Banjo-Tooie, and you go to Haggy's hen, and yeah, Haggy would hatch the eggs for you and you would get exclusive rewards. But of course, the developers scrapped it in the final production of the game, so trying to do that on the actual N64 no longer works. But if you guys do play I think it's the Xbox 360 or Xbox One version of this game, if you play Banjo-Kazooie, if you have Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie on the Xbox 360, you can do the Stop and Swap by merely playing the game. Yeah, by merely playing Banjo-Kazooie, finding all the eggs, and then switching over to Banjo-Tooie, your data would carry over to that, and you'd be able to unlock exclusive rewards for your Xbox 360. I think this also works on the Xbox One's Rareware collection. I don't know for certain because I don't have an Xbox One, so I can't confirm that. But yeah, I know it works on 360 because I have seen it done. But like I said, the Xbox One version, I cannot confirm if that is true. But the Stop and Swap was pretty awesome, guys. It not only gave you end-game rewards, but it gave you new things such as, like, I think a wallpaper for your 360, a new avatar profile or something. Just like, a few things for your Xbox and some in-game rewards. But yeah, it was pretty awesome though. So, as you guys can tell already, from Banjo-Kazooie, there's a new way to access worlds, and the way we access worlds is by collecting Jiggies. Same way as the first game, we collect Jiggies, but instead this time we don't go up to a painting, to a missing picture, to a picture with missing Jiggy spaces. Instead, this time, we collect them and then we come to this temple and take on a puzzle challenge to unlock a new world. Like with the last game, we do need certain amount of Jiggies to access the new world. But, as you guys can see, this is the first world. And looky what we've got here, Mayahem Temple. And we just found ourselves a warpad. But what does it do exactly? We'll find out in a second here. So you can see there's a new type of enemy. There's this guy, statue that shoots out darts. Will track you if you get within range. And you guys can see here, collecting these musical notes are now an infringement of 5 instead of 1. And you do keep the notes outside of the world now, as they're needed for learning new skills. But just who teaches us the new skills since Bottles is dead? Well, we're about to find out. This is Drill Sergeant Janjars. He's Bottle's military brother. And we're greeted to him doing a little marching tune dance every time he teaches us a new move, with marching music playing. So you guys can see there, because he's a military man, he prefers to hide out in a silo. Yeah, he's got a whole ton of silos all throughout the worlds. Being a mole, he's got a tunnel across every kind of world, and everywhere you can think of, he's got a silo. But I know you guys are wondering, is what's with that? If you guys have noticed, you're probably wondering, what's with that yellow gem on the enemy's head? One second. You're probably wondering, what is this right here on his forehead, and does it have any does it have any purpose? Well, yes it does. You see guys, now that we have the aim, now that we just learned the A game, we can actually shoot. Hang on. Sorry, he respawned right behind me. Now that we've learned the A game, we can actually shoot at it. And it temporarily disables these guys. You can see we can run all around him and he will not target us. So it's a way to temporarily disable them. Very useful. Because honestly, those guys get very annoying. I mean, when you're trying to like run around and you got these guys just targeting you, spraying darts. So what I just did there was open up a new door. It's like with the Jujus from Mumbo's Mountain. You feed them eggs and they reveal to you something. Now what we find here is some guy. He tells us that our relic has been stolen. Chief Bloatson, and I know a funny name. These guys have the most ridiculous names. But he tells us that a priceless relic has been stolen, and we need to recover it. So we are going to recover it, but we can't get through there. We can't get there through here without a new move that we haven't learned yet. So you can see, having gone into a building and then came back out, he's now active again. If we come up here, there's actually a few hidden goodies up here. Come all the way up to the top here. There's a Jiggy. We took a bit of fall damage there. It's not that biggie though. We come over here. You can learn another new skill. Brigo Blaster. This basically lets us use Kazooie as a gun, and always if you take damage and you come to him. So yeah, guys, one pointer, guys, if you take damage and you can't find any honeycombs around or any enemies to give you honeycombs, you can always go to jam jars, even if you've got them, even if you've already learned the lesson. You can go to him and he'll always restore your health to full. What we got here are these annoying flies. So we're just gonna skip the dialogue and just get right into getting rid of these guys. So just getting right to the point, getting rid of them. We get a Jiggy for free. Well, not for free, because we had to stop those flies from destroying the crops. But we've got our third Jiggy. You guys can see we can't get to that honeycomb yet without a specific move. So now what we're gonna do, there it is. We picked up a treble clef. There's still more to get here. We're not even halfway done yet. Like with the last world, there's always 100 notes, and there's always 100 notes. There's always 10 Jiggies. Now what's this? A creature here called a Globo. Supposed to have magical powers. And look who we find. It's our old friend Mumbo. So you guys can see here, Mumbo's design is completely new. It's completely different from the last game, and I honestly like it better in this game than it was in the last game. But if you guys can see here, we can now take control of Mumbo as a playable character. So he went from being the one to transform us. So he went from being the one to transform us into whatever to now being one that aids us as a playable character. And you can see his main attack, his main and only attack, is just using his shaman stick. which, you know, it stuns an enemy, scares them away if they're near it, and it just stuns them with a funny sound effect. Which I'll show you guys what that sounds like. It's pretty funny. So just listen to this closely. If you guys heard that, it's the funniest thing ever. I don't know why I find it so amusing, but it's just hilarious. Now if you come over here, you see that there's a pad with Mumbo's face on it. So by pressing B, you can see what he does. Summon Golden Goliath. So what this does is allow him to summon. We'll find many more pads like this scattered around the world. Some will be only one-time use. Others we can use as many times as we like. But you can see we now have complete control over the statue. And what we can do is we can destroy this guy, kick open that. You can also jump, but not very far. He's a pretty heavy guy, so you wouldn't imagine that he could go very, he could jump too high. We can destroy that. Get rid of this guy. Kick open this door, walk on through. And as you guys can see, there's a time limit for how long we can have the use. But we can always come back and, you know, do it again. So never fret. Don't think that, you know, the time limit runs out. It's one-time use. Nope. So come there, and the only way we're gonna get that Jiggy is with Tim. So, you know, we do that, destroy that, and the time runs out. Timer runs out, and, you know, he returns back to his resting place. Simply, we just use the pad again. And, you know, we can continue doing what we were doing. Only the first time we're subjected to the cutscene, where, you know, the statue's, you know, alive, and he notices it. But yeah, following what we just did, we can continue onward. So we can see there's a Jinjo. We can step on this warp pad. We can come back over here to where we were at. And we can kick that open. Deal with this guy just for the hell of it. We can kick that poor Magi. We can collect that Globo. And you guys may notice there's a tent here, but who does this belong to? Exactly who does it belong to? Well, we'll find out in just a minute. So now what we can do is we can come all the way over here. You notice here's a flight pad. We haven't learned what those do yet. We actually learned about those in the first game. But because of the fact that We haven't gotten that far in the first game yet. We have not learned what they are, but I know what they are. And it's pretty obvious what they'll be when I show you guys. The way to get back to playing as Banjo, simply just return Mambo to his seat. One thing is, guys, the way you can, here's a little secret that I'm going to tell you guys, and this will come in handy for later on in the game. So the way you can tell who Mambo is that only the first time he will, only here in this world, we actually find him sleeping. Only on the first time does he sleep. Every other time after that, he's awake, just sitting in his chair. What exactly do I mean by that? Well, continue to watch the series as we go, and you'll find out just what I mean. So now, guys, we can use this warpad. Go right over here. And we can explore the top. So we find that this belongs to Woombas with the Hoomba Woombas are. So we learned that she's taken on the role of doing the transformations, while Mambo has taken on the role of becoming a playable character. She's now the one that does the transforming. So now we come up here where we came with the Golden Goliath, and we can find our next Jiggy. Dodging these targeting guys. Oh wait, no, we can't. Why do I keep forgetting about that? This is just as we were running by, a Magi respawned. So we learned the skill Grip Grab, which means we can now hang on the ledges. That means we can now hang on to ledges like so, and attack with B. We can attack left or right with B. And you'll see why we need to attack left or right with B in just a second. Now you can see there that there's a snake sleeping, and he's laying on some very noisy grass. So making any noise, if we try to run over there, he's gonna notice, he's gonna wake up and notice us. So we want to do this as slowly as possible. This will be very close, but you guys can see well, you can't see it, but I'm lightly pushing the analog stick to make us tiptoe, so we can sweat the Jiggy without having to trigger that cutscene. So there you guys can see why we use B to attack. There's these wall guys here. I never learned what their names are. Like, you know, we just use B to attack them. So we'll transform in the next playthrough. But there's still some things we gotta do first. So we go to the world's entrance. Come over here to this flight pad. You can zoom across the map if you want to. This is our third page, and then we can reach the top here. And then you guys can see we fell down there. And we open up this gate here. And then we come into a world that we will come across later, but this is the only time that we actually get here early. Now you guys can see all this stuff here. Stepping on it will wake up that guy, just like with the snake. Any movement will wake him up, only that if he wakes up, he will kick us out of the cave. So we want to do this as slowly as we can. You don't want to rush it, because like I said, you're going to wake him up. So you want to lightly push on the analog stick all the way across until you make it. Like I said, any fast movements will wake him up. So we're trying to avoid doing that just until we're in the clear. I'm not even going to risk trying to change the camera angle yet. I fear it will mess up my concentration there. So you guys can see we've safely made it across, and even jumping right near him, as you guys just saw, like, does not wake him up. How it doesn't, I do not know, but stepping on that, even if you take one step on this, he will wake up. Also, if you walk on it while you have this, he will become very angry, and he will chase you out of the cave. Yeah, he'll become very angry. He'll return it to where it was and then chase you out. But as you guys can see there, we return the gem, and we're greeted to this cutscene. So you guys can see these cavemen actually stole it. And the fact that he was sleeping on while guarding it, he's gonna be in pretty big trouble. But we will learn about the cavemen, but that won't be till later on in the game. And I say that because that's the only early look at that level, or at that world that we get until we actually get there. But now that we did that, we got our where's the second Jiggy? So now we can come in this door that we missed. I'm gonna try to get all this level in one recording. It may have to be a part 2 for this. So yeah, we took some damage. And we found another warp pad. So which is good, which is good. You guys can see there's 1 or 2 ways we can go. We can go over there to get our 4th cheat code page. So we're actually gonna do that. And actually now we can go do that secret thing that I told you guys about at the beginning of this, the beginning of part 1. Now, yes, there is some crazy way that speedrunners do that. You know, they are able to get that Jiggy early without needing the required skill. Like I said, guys, I'm not that experienced with these things, so you won't be seeing me do that. But speedrunners do it though. It's amazing how they do it. I remember those boots I told you guys about for the quicksand. They protect us from the quicksand. This is why. I'll show you guys why they protect us in a second. So by jumping in the quicksand, you can see we're spit out. And we're then bit, and there's this creature here that lurks in it. So I don't know exactly what his name is, but he's a quicksand monster. He lurks within the quicksand. Now this here is what's known as a stony. So he's speaking in the language of the Stonies, and we don't understand what he's saying. But if we come and transform, though, maybe we can. So diving headfirst into the transformation pool, we find that we become a stony ourselves. And becoming a stony ourselves allows us to speak the language of stonies. So we're now able to understand what they say. We've got like 60 seconds, so let's try and finish this up. But I'm just going to say this now, but if you guys have enjoyed the series, be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications, and give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more from the series. I'm Journey Nation, and until then, we'll see you in episode 3. Oops.